Great Rising. It's your girl Cass. Welcome to my page, my channel. Um, I'll get to the agenda first, but I just wanted to make a comment real quick because I do post this on my YouTube, so this is for y'all, really. But yeah, I don't care that I have a lisp. I used to suck my thumb when I was younger. That is why. I'm also an immigrant, and I don't care. Like, I'm only making this comment because it's just like, it just goes to show that people have all the time in the fucking world to just be negative. And you think you have an effect on me when we don't even know each other. You're literally behind a screen talking shit and you're just projecting to yourself. So I guess you need some dick because you thought it should be in my throat. Are you looking for that? Go find it. I don't know why you're worried about my lisp, my throat, or how I sound. Because you're a man. You talk about I sound like a man. So what do you sound like? A bitch? I don't know. But that's here nor there. But I'm sure you'll continue to watch me though. Like, y'all don't make no sense. You know, if you don't like something, you don't put energy towards it, because once you do, you're contradicting whatever it is that you're saying, because it's really just bouncing back to you. But I know a lot of y'all don't understand what projecting is, and just like knowing yourself, because you would know that anything you say and do comes right back to you. So yeah, I don't hold space for negativity. So if you're watching this, I wish you the best. And clearly, it sounds like you don't get enough pussy. But that's not my problem. So, back to the agenda. So I posted something yesterday from Chakra Bars. It was somebody from TikTok who was talking about homosexuality. So I want to get into it because it's such a touchy topic. This thing, right? Such a touchy topic. And this is like, I don't know how to like get y'all to overstand this agenda, because at the end of the day, okay, PSA, I do not care what you do with your life. Ultimately, I really do not. I love in general. I love to see love. I celebrate that. And you are free to love whoever it is that you want to love. That is your personal decision. The only thing is, we cannot go against the facts though. So, yes, you feel how you feel. Yes, you're, operating based on that feeling. But you cannot take away from the fact and the truth. And I hope this is making sense. Because, for example, I'm going to speak from my own personal experience, right? I was not born gay. I'd never felt attracted to women. But, like, in high school, I used to have a group of friends, and it was, like, one of the girl in my group of friends. Like, she used to kiss me when we were, like, drunk and stuff, but I wouldn't never be the one to initiate it. And then, fast forward into college, it was kind of, like, introduced to me, and I allowed it to happen. So, without allowing, did emotions start to be invested? Yes. So during college, I was experiencing women more than men. And to the point where one of my best friends at the time, who is a lesbian, and she feels like she was born that way. We ended up being together. We were together for almost 4 years. So this wasn't like some plaything. I was very much invested, especially if you knew me. You already know how that shit went. But for me personally, although I loved her, we had a very deep connection. Um, Deep down inside and in the back of my head, I knew there was something missing. I knew what kind of family I wanted. I knew that it was just like not gonna be the way that I planned it to be. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And so, I don't know, I think the universe knew that, and eventually, things became toxic, and then we just had to like call it quits. But even before I called it quits, we went on like a break, and I was just like, yeah, I think I'm gonna, you know, go with a guy. Like, if we do this break for real, I'm most likely going to be with a guy. And that did happen. We tried to get back together. I had to be honest, and it still didn't work. And like I said, the universe works in mysterious ways, because after that relationship, honestly, the only relationship I ever really claimed, I never went back to a girl. And then when I think more deeply, right, I was like, how it works in the community, I was considered a femme, you know what I mean? I'm the girly girl in the relationship. And for me, even like in my head, like I could never be with like a girly girl that like dress and act just like me. I'm like, you had to be masculine. So it's just like, again, I'm playing with the fact that you are biologically and genetically a girl. But in my mind, I'm just like, well, if you can act like a man or be masculine, it's okay. Ultimately, that kind of doesn't make sense, because why don't you just go after the real thing? So that's the process of like, for me anyways, why I didn't go back in XYZ. But for other like girls, and I'm speaking more on girls because I'm a girl, but for a majority of girls, I know some of them say they were born gay, but a big handful of it is because they had some like sexual trauma when they were younger, and that perpetuated, into their lives, where you don't feel safe or trusted with the opposite sex. Now, let's get to the agenda, right? So, this is an agenda. Again, you can feel very true in your emotions and how you feel, but there is a component that played into it, especially if you're melanated. Only because in our history, that's just not how we operated. Now, if you want to talk about the Mediterranean, because we need to know the timeline and the culture and all of that stuff, because we need to understand, like, African people or melanated people go back in history like millennia, for real. The last ice age was 1.5 million years ago, and it ended about 10,000 years ago, and then the Caucasians popped up literally 4 to 5 thousand years ago. So they were kind of written into history. We still don't really know where they came from, because their origin, like, they literally just popped out of nowhere. There's no, like, the paperwork literally just goes back 4 to 5 thousand years. But we can go back way further. Besides us, it was the Middle Eastern. They've been around for a while too, way before the Caucasian. And that's why I feel like people will mesh their history together, because the Mediterranean, like the Romans and all them, they were homosexual as well. And again, I keep saying it because you need to know the culture and the history, because only then you can make sense of it. So they come from a culture where divine masculine is two males, divine feminine is two females, okay? Africans, we knew that, like, because how can you procreate? How could you extend yourself? How can you know what I mean? Because our jobs, we're gods and goddesses. We're made from God, so our God, like, to create is literally part of our being. Procreate, be a professional creator, create whatever it is that you want. And because of the natural orders, even the Romans knew that they had to have sex with, like, the males. The men knew that they had to have sex with the females to know, like, to procreate, to have any children. But they looked as women as like disgusting. That's why, hence, how women is portrayed in modern day. Just pay attention to the details, because if you don't, you'll get lost in these feelings and emotions that you think is yours, but you've been conditioned. That's a conditioning. You know what I'm saying? That's just like Pavlov's dogs, where he would like ring the bell, and every time the bell rang, the dogs would salivate whether there was food or not, because it became a condition. Literally, when it comes to homosexuality, it is, they put it everywhere. And I don't even think y'all are aware of it. It's in media, like, it's in food, it's in your religion. Like, I don't think you understand, because it's either about being a homosexual, preferably when it comes to the men, they don't really care about the women. And then, damn, what was I saying? So I just got distracted because of my arm. But so, and then dehumanizing the woman or degrading the woman, right? Because their sacred hole is considered the asshole. Like, you know what I mean? They don't understand why, the women's considered disgusting. They have a vagina. Like, even makeup, heels, that was all for guys. Literally for guys. But you think it's for women. It's literally conditioned. Even when you are born, the color that they put on you is the opposite. Like, you have to understand what I'm saying and understand what I'm saying, because I'm talking about literally the first color that gets put on you, or the first color that's in your room or your clothes is literally, and colors rule. They really do. Just like keynotes, just like the rainbow, just like fruits, colors have a meaning and signify something. Just like, for example, right? I want to give a good example. So the heart chakra, right? It's green. So you would want to eat green leafy things. That would help with the chakra. If you're having problem with your root chakra, you should eat red things, strawberry, tomatoes, apples, whatever it is that is red. Colors do matter. Everything do matter. Everything that you're undermining, thinking, oh, it's not a big deal, it's nothing. It is a big deal. It was intentional as fuck. So again, I don't care what you do with your life. I just want you to know how you got here, how you got to this place. Because if you were in your natural culture, you wouldn't be there. Like, I hope that makes sense. So, yeah. Do research for real. Do research for real. Because, and a part of it too, for some people, I feel like it's a part of just like wanting to be different, wanting to go against the grain, like, being a rebel, like doing your own thing, like, here I am, here's what I want to do. And it's just like, that's cool and all. But it's just like, baby, is that really who you are? Like, you know what I mean? Because ultimately, it's all about the connections. And even when you go back to history, they were like binary people or gender benders, right? Is what they call them. They came here with like, they wanted to have a spiritual journey. Most of these people were like, whether they were like man or female, had like both features or characteristics or personalities of a man and a female. But in those situations, majority of them did not engage in like, I feel like, sexual activity, or like was looking for other people, because they knew this was just a journey for them to like really explore and live in their, you know, I don't like spiritual life, like, you know what I mean? Because a lot of people, they say like, in different cultures, they were praised, these binary, like gender benders, binary people, because of their ability to, the masculine infinity is just flowing so equally. But again, this was more of like a personal journey for them. They didn't procreate. Um, they didn't, have like relationships, because it was more about the relationship with themselves and what they could teach to others. Um, so that's all. I'll speak on it now. We can always get into more detail of how like it's embedded in everything, like everything, like honey bun, like even ass. Do you know how much ass is like being like, it's like top tier? Hello, people are literally dying to go get this ass. And where did this ass obsession come from? The Europeans, like the Caucasians. Literally, they're obsessed with ass. I told you, they consider it their most sacred whole. They do not care about the women. The men only cared about the men. That's why even when you go down to like the best man, all these things, it's perpetuated everywhere. Even the buck breaking of the slaves and Caribbean people, they did that to break you, to degrade you, to make you feel like you, because they knew how powerful you were, especially when a man and woman was together. So again, live in your light, live in your truth, but know the truth, know the real. Because then it's just like, you want to be like, I got here on my own. But did you? Because your whole life, this shit was right in front of your face. It was in all the Disney channels. It was in all the foods. It was in all the media. It was all the it was all there. So when you've been programmed and things been put in front of you your whole life, and you get to this position and be like, how'd you get here? Even me, like, the sexuality piece was just one thing. There's a lot of things I'm just like, wow, how the fuck did I get here? Like, for real. Because a lot of it don't make sense until you know what really happened. Because until you know, you will never truly know yourself. Until you know, you will never truly have an understanding of what's really going on. Because to have understanding is to know what's going on everywhere. So again, this is not a bash, hate. You're gonna love who you love regardless, but understand the conditioning. You can't ignore the truth. You can be like, yeah, well, that's what I choose to do. Own that today. But don't be like, oh, that's not true, or it had no impact, because how can you really say that? Everything was put in front of you. You had no control over that. None. So you must realize that and do that deep inner search and figure out like what's really going on. Because I think anybody, well, not everybody, but for the most part, people want to procreate, and have an extension of themselves, like grow, like a tree that grows. It has a branch, it has leaves. You expand, you expand, you expand. So, and naturally, the only order that works with is with a man and a woman. And that's really how you play God. It's not in a lab or you going outside of yourself to make it happen. Because then you're just, what's the word? Finding a way around the natural order of things, if that makes sense. And then you're just messing with like natural intelligence. So I just wanted to speak about that because I know it's a touchy subject for a lot of people. And this is from a person that's actually been in a relationship. And, you know, I have a lot of people in my life that actually have, like, you know, were bisexual or gay. And I love them to pieces. It really, I mean, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter about this outside piece or outside factor, like your emotions. It's really just about, okay, is this true? Did this happen? Did they do this? Did they put it everywhere? Yes. So it's just like, can you really say like you just got here on your own? That's up for debate. But that's just my analysis of it. You would have to just really do the research to get more of the information. Then you can grasp it. Then you can see it. Then you can understand and understand. I recommend a good resource is Dr. Lila Africa. You can search him, and I think it's under the video is called Racism. So yeah, that's my TED Talk for today. I hope everybody has an amazing Thursday. It's a beautiful day out today. It's warm. I literally have shorts on, so it's kind of crazy. But make sure to like, share, subscribe if you guys have any topic, and I'll see you guys next time.